Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
It turns out a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. We think AI can help with this problem. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
So how can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around?
At 12 p.m.
We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15.
Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.?
Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for?
Just a woman's haircut for now.
Okay, we have a 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. is fine.
Okay, what's her first name?
The first name is Lisa.
Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Great. Have a great day. Bye.
That was a real call you just heard. The amazing thing is the assistant can actually understand the nuances of conversation. We've been working on this technology for many years. It's called Google Duplex. It brings together all our investments over the years in natural language understanding, deep learning, text-to-speech. By the way, when we are done, the assistant can give you a confirmation notification saying your appointment has been taken care of. Let me give you another example. Let's say you want to call a restaurant, but maybe it's a small restaurant which is not easily available to book online. The call actually goes a bit differently than expected. So take a listen.
See how may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to reserve a table for Wednesday the 7th.
For 7 people?
It's for 4 people.
4 people? When? Today?
Next Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Oh, actually we leave here for like after like 5 people. For 4 people you can come.
How long is the wait usually to be seated?
For when, tomorrow or weekday or?
For next Wednesday, the 7th.
Oh no, it's not too busy. You can come for 4 people, okay?
Oh, I gotcha. Thanks.
Yep. Bye bye.
Again, that was a real call. We have many of these examples where the calls quite don't go as expected, but the assistant understands the context, the nuance. It knew to ask for wait times in this case and handle the interaction gracefully. Look, we're still developing this technology, and we actually want to work hard to get this right, get the user experience and the expectation right for both businesses and users. But done correctly, it'll save time for people and generate a lot of value for businesses.
Quantum computers and AI are an explosive combination. Some expect AI to change the world more than fire or electricity. It's already enhancing everything from self-driving cars to deep space exploration. And it holds the promise of dramatically extending our lives, or, of course, replacing us. Quantum computers won't just accelerate AI, they will break open doors that classical computers never could. To see why, we need to understand the special connection between AI and quantum computers. AI learns from experience, calculating the likely outcomes of many possible choices.
After training in millions of rounds of hide and seek, the hiders find a solution. The hiders learn to use rudimentary tools to their advantage. After many millions of rounds of having their shelter breached, the hiders learn to take away the primary tool the seekers have at their disposal. To prevent seekers from using the ramps, the hiders move them to the edge of the play area and lock them in place. The seekers discover that they can jump on top of boxes and surf them to the hider's shelter.
AlphaZero taught itself chess by playing against itself. In just 4 hours, it learned enough to beat the previous champion, which had a lot of human input.
I'm very close to the cutting edge in AI, and it scares the hell out of me. It's capable of vastly more than almost anyone knows, and the rate of improvement is exponential. You can see this in things like AlphaGo, which went from, in the span of maybe 6 to 9 months, it went from being unable to beat even a reasonably good Go player to then beating the European world champion, who was ranked 600, then beating Lee Sedol 4-5, who had been world champion for many years, then beating the current world champion, then beating everyone while playing simultaneously. Then there was AlphaZero, which crushed AlphaGo 100-0. And AlphaZero just learned by playing itself, and it can play basically any game that you put the rules in for. Whatever rules you give it, it literally read the rules, play the game, and be superhuman.
To find a life-saving drug, the choices must be far more precise, and the options are almost infinite. Supercomputers could take thousands of years. But quantum computers play a different game. This one looks like a death ray because it uses several cooling stages to reach temperatures colder than outer space. The colder, the better, because when atoms are kept still, their quantum effects become more clear. This is an oxygen molecule, 2 oxygen atoms sharing an electron. The electron doesn't sit between the atoms, it exists around both of them at the same time. This is called superposition, and it holds molecules together. Without it, your body would fall apart. The particles at the center of quantum computers can also be in 2 positions at once. While classical computers use bits, 1s and 0s, qubits can be 1 and 0 at the same time. Observing a qubit makes it collapse into a position. No one knows why this happens. If you can figure it out, there's a Nobel Prize for you. Flip a coin enough times, and the probability of heads and tails will become clear. In the same way, repeatedly measuring a qubit will uncover the probability that it's in a particular position. Nature is also quantum. Our brains and the drugs we're searching for work in probabilities, so they can only be accurately simulated on quantum computers. Another spooky skill of particles is entanglement. 2 separate particles can be connected so that changing one of them will immediately change the other. There's no physical connection. They can be at opposite ends of the galaxy. If we entangle 2 qubits, they can be in a superposition of 4 basic states: 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 1. Each time we add a new qubit, we double the total number of states. To double the power of today's fastest supercomputer, we would need to double its size. But for a quantum computer, it's just another small qubit. With 300 entangled qubits, the number of possible positions is greater than the number of atoms in the known universe. That's how many bits a classical computer would need to compete. Quantum computers will accelerate drug discovery by accurately modeling chemical reactions, which is impossible with classical computers.
Many of the ailments we call diseases could be thought of as symptoms of the most powerful disease of all, aging.
In fact, for some species, death rates actually go down with age. So instead of getting sicker and sicker as you get older, you get healthier and healthier. They tend to be species that keep on growing, and as they grow, they get to be bigger and get new tissues, so they restore their health.
There are whales that live hundreds of years, and they're very similar to us genetically, but we do need to be able to either change our genomes or find medicines and other ways to enhance our systems so that we have the same kind of lifespans that they do.
Quantum algorithms will also detect patterns in our behavior and perhaps come to know us better than we know ourselves. This will undermine democracy, but that's another video. Quantum computers will crack the world's online security and replace it with unbreakable quantum security. Any attempt to observe a message would destroy it. New patterns may also be uncovered in stock market data. Investment firms are betting on it. Voice recognition will be perfected and we'll have more flowing, interesting conversations with our phones. New super light batteries will be designed. Planes will be optimized for hypersonic flight. The future impact of climate change will be modeled in detail. We might discover what really happens inside a black hole. And new models of particle physics will help unlock the secrets of nature. When AI meets advanced quantum computing, it will no longer need to learn one guess at a time. It will explore all possible choices at once. Today's specialist AI, which beats humans at specific tasks like chess and driving, will take a leap towards the holy grail of general AI and perhaps superhuman intelligence. Quantum computers may be the tool to help create our final invention. So, where are we now? Well, Google has reportedly achieved quantum supremacy, cracking a task that would have taken 10,000 years on a classical computer. The task may be abstract, but it's a sign of things to come. AI will help form the algorithms required to take quantum computers and AI itself to the next level. Governments are pouring money into the quantum race. The US has invested $1 billion, believing it's the exact place where federal R&D dollars are best utilized. China has reportedly invested several billion. A follower in the digital revolution, it wants to lead the quantum revolution. Thousands of researchers are accessing quantum computers online. Like early classic computers, the technology is quietly gearing up for a revolution. A key challenge is to add qubits without creating interference. Oxford Quantum Circuits, which kindly supported this video, saw that a traditional layout wasn't scaling well, so it took the control and readout devices out of plane to reduce crosstalk. The team is taking an open, collaborative approach to spur innovation. Anyone can freely access and program quantum computers online. Professor Aspuro Guzik says, you have to hack quantum computers. Growing up in Mexico, he hacked phone systems to get free calls, and he sees the same adventurous spirit in the people connecting to quantum computers online. Maybe it's not about how many qubits we have, he says. Maybe it's about how many hackers we have. The qubits at the center of all this defy conventional thinking, and even their name. Bit is short for binary digit, but there's nothing binary about a qubit. Creative thinking will prize open the potential of quantum computers and change the world in ways we cannot imagine.
Coevolution and competition on Earth led to the only generally intelligent species known to date, humans. We hope that with a much larger and more diverse environment, truly complex and intelligent agents will one day emerge.
Make me work, make me sweat inside, make me feel like I'm alive. Take this hurt, lady, throw it in my face. Don't let these bones slow you down. 'Cause I'm coming on strong. The grass should have looked greener. I need true believer in disguise. If I'm loving you wrong, shortchanging and receiving, girl, you best be leaving me behind. 'Cause I'm over easy tonight. State the truth, spit it out, I'm waiting. Don't leave me contemplating my own life. Save the bullshit for another man or lover. Don't need a 4-leaf clover to decide. 'Cause I'm coming on strong, the grass should've looked greener. I need a true believer in disguise. If I'm loving you wrong, shortchanging and receiving, girl, you best be leaving me behind. 'Cause I'm over easy tonight. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Yeah, 'cause I'm over easy tonight.
Artificial intelligence has become a key behind-the-scenes component of many aspects of our day-to-day lives. From the virtual personal assistants such as Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant, to the suggestions from your favorite music and TV subscription services. The promise of AI has lured many into attempting to harness it for social benefit, but there are also concerns about its potential misuse. It is already an important consideration when programmers create AI systems with specific functions, such as self-driving cars. Today, the so-called narrow AI that are designed to do one specific task are not capable of acting independently. They are designed with the sole purpose of enabling humans to complete their task more efficiently. Dr. Stuart Russell is one of AI's true pioneers and has been at the forefront of the field for decades. According to Russell, while these applications and expected developments in AI are enormously exciting, others, such as the development of autonomous weapons and the replacement of humans in economic roles, may be deeply troubling.
There are still a lot of people who, if you mention killer robots or autonomous weapons, their only exposure is the Terminator robot. And when we look at Terminator robots, they are large, slow-moving, heavy, vulnerable, and incredibly inaccurate. They shoot hundreds of bullets without hitting anybody. The robots we're talking about, when they shoot a bullet, it will hit its target. So we're thinking about systems that weigh less than an ounce, that can fly faster than a person can run, and can be launched in the millions. So being attacked by an army of Terminators is a piece of cake compared to being attacked by this kind of weapon.
The danger with the future of AI is the general AI that can perform many different tasks very well. A computer mind that improves, learns, and thinks like a human, or even exceed the level of human intelligence. A hypothetical scenario where AI becomes the dominant form of intelligence on Earth, with computer or robots effectively taking the control of the planet away from the human species, has become a significant point of controversy in the public imagination.
The worry arises from the possibility that machines may become smarter across the board, that they will develop general purpose capabilities. The possible risks from building systems that are more intelligent than us are not immediate, but the need to start thinking about how to keep those systems under control and to make sure that the behaviors they produce, the decisions they make, are beneficial to us. We need to start doing that research now. But in the history of nuclear physics, there was a very famous occasion when the leading nuclear physicist, Ernest Rutherford, said that extracting energy from atoms was impossible and would always remain impossible. The next day, Leo Szilard invented the nuclear chain reaction, and within a few months designed the first nuclear bomb. So sometimes it can go from never and impossible to happening in less than 24 hours. And just to give you an analogy, if someone said, well, a giant asteroid is going to crash into the Earth in 75 years' time, would we say, oh, let's, come back in 70 years and we'll start thinking about it? No, we don't know how to destroy the asteroid, and so we would start working on it now to make sure that when the asteroid arrives, we have the technology we need to keep the human race going. So I think the analogy can be made to the possibility of superhuman AI.
Unlike humans, many systems with AIs are unable to understand the consequences of their actions. So the relevant question is, what level of control should be given to them, or whether they at all should be permitted to act autonomously in certain situations. In view of the recent warnings from researchers and entrepreneurs that artificial intelligence may become too smart, major players in the technology field are thinking about preserving human control. One such method is the development of an AI kill switch. This would be a technology that prevents AI systems from taking control of their own destiny. The concept of an AI kill switch has already been put forward by many prominent experts in the field of artificial intelligence. It was first raised by AI experts in 2013 when DeepMind Technology demonstrated the ability of their computer program AlphaGo to beat one of the world's best Go players. Deep learning algorithms draw powerful insights from quantities of data typically beyond human comprehension. But what if machines become so superior in intelligence that humans lose control?
One of the things I think is a possibility in the not too distant future. We've already seen a lot of progress on brain-machine interfaces that allow, for example, someone who's completely paralyzed to control a robot arm to pick up a cup of coffee and have a drink. And that's done by direct connection of electrodes into neural tissue. And the amazing thing about that is that we don't understand the signals that the brain uses to control its effectors, right? Its arms and legs and so on. Basically, we leave it up to the brain to figure out what signals need to be sent to this robot arm to have it do what it does. It's not a conscious process, but with a relatively small amount of training, a monkey or a human brain, I don't want to say the monkey or the human, because the human doesn't know what's going on. It's sometimes the brain is the one that figures out what signals need to be sent to this electrical system to get the robot arm to do what it wants. Just from common sense, if you're a gorilla, are you happy that the human race came along and they're more intelligent than us? How are the gorillas doing right now? Probably not too well. So there's a common sense idea that having things smarter than you could potentially be a risk. The particular risk of having systems smarter than you comes from the fact that when you give a very, very intelligent system an objective, and let's hope we give them objectives, let's not leave it up to them to decide what they want to do. Let's make sure that they follow the objectives that we give them. The difficulty is, and we don't know how to specify objectives very well. And when you give an objective to a machine that's much more intelligent than you are, it's going to carry it out. It's not going to want to be turned off, because if you turn it off, it can't achieve the objective you gave it. So you're essentially setting up a chess match between the human race and machines that are more intelligent than us. And we know what happens when we play chess against machines.
Researchers acknowledge that robots may not always behave optimally, but they are hopeful that humans should ultimately be in charge. Some researchers are calling for an international effort to study the feasibility of an AI kill switch. According to them, future intelligence machines should be coated with a kill switch to prevent them from going rogue. An AI kill switch is a mechanism for restricting machine intelligence, by which humans, who remain in control, can intervene to override the decision-making process. Existing weak AI systems can be monitored and easily shut down and modified if they misbehave. However, a misprogrammed superintelligence, which by definition is smarter than humans in solving practical problems it encounters in the course of pursuing its goals, would realize that allowing itself to be shut down and modified might interfere with its ability to accomplish its current goals. If the superintelligence therefore decides to resist shutdown and modification, it would be smart enough to outwit its human operators and other efforts to shut it down. Russell postulates that it might be wise to build oracles as precursors to a superintelligent AI. An oracle is a hypothetical AI designed to answer questions, but is prevented from gaining any goals or sub-goals that involve modifying the world beyond its limited environment. The oracle could tell humans how to successfully build a superintelligent AI and perhaps provide answers to difficult moral and philosophical problems. The oracle may also be used to determine how human values translate into an engineering specification for superintelligence. This would make it possible to know in advance whether a proposed superintelligence design would be safe or unsafe to build. Russell has proposed a novel solution, a new human-computer relationship, to solve the problem of superintelligence.
So the way I think about it is that everything good we have in our lives, everything that civilization consists of, is the result of our intelligence. It's not the result of our long teeth or our big scary claws. It's from our intelligence. So if AI, as seems to be happening, can amplify our intelligence, can provide tools that make us, in effect, much more intelligent than we have been, then we could be talking about, a golden age for humanity, with possibly the elimination of disease, poverty, solving the climate change problem, all being facilitated by the use of this technology. So I am extremely optimistic that the upside is very great, and that's the reason why we need to make sure that the downside doesn't occur.
Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? Then show your support by subscribing and ringing the bell to never miss videos like this.